Then I'm your mom. Balls that were deflated. Pretty big fly is gonna be here. Stripped down to Miami's ecto cooler, the hetero landowner. These balls were not deflated properly. Ball. Oh wow, this sounds pretty awesome. 1, 2, 3.
Welcome to Koala on the Root, everybody. How's it going, Vin?
Going all right. How are you?
I'm doing pretty awesome. What'd you think of our new intro?
I think that's pretty rad. I think that's really, really fucking rad.
I love it.
Very good.
So, dude, it's been like 3 bleeping months, man. 3 months.
I realized that today, and I said, "Shame on us. Let's do something about that."
So, what have you been up to in your time?
Boy, what a question. I saw Mad Max, which was amazing. I loved it so much that I had to go see it again. That has basically been the coolest thing to happen to me in the last 3 months, most likely.
Really? I've heard Skojo on TMS and everything else talk about it and rave about it. I really want to go see it. Is it now? I know it's got the rated R label.
Okay, so let's talk about that real quick. So it's violent, but this is the sort of violence that my parents would have let me watch when I was 10 years old. Well, I guess we've had that conversation. I watched some pretty messed up stuff.
As long as you cover your eyes.
So let me give you the parents' guide. There's explosions. There's guns. There is a bit of blood. A bit, not a lot. In no ways gratuitous. And there are many places where he could have gone and added an excess of nudity, an excess of blood, and he stays away from all of that. In fact, all the scenes that are most gruesome, he doesn't show you. He lets you fill in the blanks. So there's a scene where a guy gets impaled with a spear dart through his face, and there's barely a bit of blood. So you see things sticking out of him. You know he's in pain. He's about to die. Man,
spoiler alert.
This is just a war boy. You've seen the commercial. You've seen that. But the point is, something that could be very graphic, that in all right should be very graphic, is not sensationalized, which is one of the things I really appreciate about the movie. I could go on and on. I don't know if we're there yet. Fantastic movie. Fantastic movie. I really, really, really loved it. I think it's worth seeing in the big screen because it really does benefit from being super scale. It's fantastic.
That's pretty sweet. I maybe. Sorry, Josh. Maybe we will go. I have to look on it. You think it's appropriate for Josh?
How old is he now?
14. By the way,
like
happy
I said,
belated birthday, Josh. You're one of the partners of the show. You give us our questions. We were gonna wish you a happy birthday when we recorded in April, but we skipped April.
Sorry.
We skipped May. Sorry.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
I would say it would be a wonderful belated birthday present to take him. If you gave him Mortal Kombat X, he has seen far more than he would see in this movie. Far more. So I would absolutely say, if you're comfortable with Mortal Kombat X for Josh, absolutely don't miss a chance to take him to this movie. I think the two of you will absolutely love it.
May have to do that. Thank you for the recommendation. I've heard great things.
It's been out 3-4 weeks, so it's going to be another week or two before it's gone. So
they're only in the theaters that long now.
Yeah, they go until they start to drop sales, and they take them so they can get them to DVD quickly.
Okay. Well, I'll have to get on that then.
They want to keep making that money train rolling.
I've heard great things about it, though. It's also the guy who did Stuart Little, isn't it?
No.
He did Babe.
Happy Feet 2 and Babe 2, A Pig in the City. Those are the three. Well, okay, so let's do the George Miller minute. George Miller did The Road Warrior in 1982 or something. I forget the years. I'm pretty sure.
Did you see any of the Mad Maxes prior?
Yes, but so the first Mad Max is pretty slow paced. It was really early 80s, maybe it's been late 70s. I'm not sure, but I remember. I think I'd seen it when I was really young. I didn't remember it. I tried watching it again when I was a bit older, and it was just way too slow for me. I'd seen the second one, The Road Warrior, probably the most of them all. And I probably saw it around the time it came out, which is, I'm guessing, 83. And I probably saw it maybe a dozen
81.
times. 81. Okay, so that was the year I was born. So I didn't see it when it first came out, but
I don't
can
think
tell
I saw
you.
it in '83 either.
I have very early memories of that movie. I don't
Okay.
recall a great deal of it though. There are little snippets in my mind. I can remember a dude getting his fingers cut off by a boomerang, and this helicopter contraption, and some race down the desert toward the end with this guy in this crazy mask. I've seen it. I've seen it a bunch of times. It's been a very long time. It would be like watching it brand new when I see it again soon. Thunderdome, I'd seen maybe the first half hour of, and never any more. So I'm gonna have to remedy that. I will have to go check that out. But he did those 3 movies. He finished his last action film in 1985. That was Thunderdome, and in that 30 years or so, he only did those other 3 films: Happy Feet 2, and Babe, a Pig in the City. So here's a 70-year-old man. What's that?
Did Lorenzo's Oil too. I think I did remember that one.
I hadn't heard about that. Okay.
And the Witches of Eastwick.
Okay. Did you ever see that one?
No.
Yeah. So he was slated to do a couple films. He was working on this since the late 90s, I think 1998. And he had a script envisioned. He had an idea. He took it to studios. He had plans. They were going to do this. They were going to do that. Originally, they were going to bring Mel Gibson back. At one point, it was going to be an animated movie. And so he'd been thinking about this for a couple decades. He was going to do in 2009 the Justice League movie, but that got canceled. So, you back up to 3 years ago. He's going around to studios and he's saying, here's this 70-year-old man asking for $180 million to do this movie based on a universe that he's created that has some moderate fan appreciation. But the last movie was 30 years ago, and he hasn't done an action film since. There's a really interesting article I read, I think it was on Kotaku, about why this movie is such a miracle, how it never should have happened, how no studio executive would ever have taken a risk on this geriatric man and his crazy visions and huge budget, and yet still it happened. And people are calling it a masterpiece, and I have to agree. It's just that good. It's the cars. I mean, it's just one large chase scene. So there are these crazy cars all over the place. Read somewhere, I think it was something like 220 different cars. And each and every one of them had his own backstory that he had written for them, just to give this world depth. I mean, the level of detail this man went into in creating this world. And the script was sort of non-existent. He had a storyboard written up, and they were going off of that for most of the shoot. And it's so unconventional and so outlandish. And it's really cool. You might appreciate as a new father of a young daughter. He had in recent years become quite the feminist. So the heroes of the movie are actually mostly heroines. There are only 2 male leads who are actually heroic, and every other male in the whole movie is basically a villain of one form or another, or varying degrees of villainy. And he had the movie edited by his wife. So he put a lot of female influences into the film, which I thought was really cool. He didn't fall into some certain tropes that I'll leave out till you see it, but
Okay.
Lots to like about that movie.
I'm looking forward to it. I've heard so many good things, and I think you just put me over the edge there finally.
I'll leave one last story. I was scared to go see this finally because I was so excited for it. And usually when I get that excited for something, there's going to be some degree of letdown, too high expectations. So I went, I was watching it. I was loving it. I was really enjoying it, like thoroughly enjoying myself. But the movie ended and I just kind of sat there like, okay. And I didn't exactly feel anything. You go to a movie sometimes and you leave and you kind of feel like, yeah, that was really cool. I didn't really feel anything. So walked out of the theater. I went to the bathroom, and as I'm walking out of the bathroom, the whole movie started flooding back through me. And all of a sudden, I'm remembering all these things that were just so awesome. And it turns out the movie was so insane that when it ended, I was just numb. Just emotionally, physically, everything. Just I was wiped out, and I was numb. And I couldn't feel anything for like a good 2 minutes. And then all of a sudden, it came flooding back, and I was just way too excited for my good. It was an experience.
That's awesome. I love movies like that too. It's like when I remember when I left what's it called? Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull.
Oh God.
Yeah, I know, right?
Oh
I loved the
God.
movie, and I loved it, but I think I loved it because of the fact that I finally got to see a um
Indiana
Indiana
Jones.
Jones on the big screen in the movie theater. It was one of my favorite movies growing up. It was great to see Harrison Ford. I'm like, oh, that was really good. I loved it. And then it just started. The more I thought about it, I'm like, wait, that was what? Why did they do that?
Yeah.
Indiana Jones' son would not be flying around with monkeys on. Come on.
Yeah. It was. Oh, I really wanted to like that movie too. I think I had a similar feeling. You know, I sort of thought I liked it, but the more I thought of it, man, it kept getting worse.
It really did. It was bad. Now I see it on. I just like have to wash my eyes out with soap. It's awful.
I'm gonna send you a link. There's a YouTube channel called Honest Trailers. Have you ever?
I have not heard of this.
So Honest Trailers are really fun. And they recut movie trailers and they dub over them, and they basically tell a plot of the movie, but really in plain terms. I don't know how to say it better. It's really funny. Let me send you a link in over here, and then maybe at some point we'll take a break and you can watch it, and then we'll comment on it. Maybe at the end of the show.
Okay, sweet. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm
That's
going to
awesome.
warn you. I've sent you down rabbit holes in the past. This can lead to a whole number of YouTube channels where you can get lost for days. Becky and I have spent countless entire evenings, going down this rabbit hole. So if you're ready for opening up your existence to this this madness, I can start sending you things like honest trailers and how it should have ended and etc. There's some fun shit out there.
I'm really looking forward to it. So man, it's been so long though since we've had a podcast, and there's had a lot happen to me.
Yeah. So what's up?
So part of the reason why I haven't been able to record as much because I get home from my crazy days, I'm just exhausted. We usually record on a Thursday night, and I have practice or games for lacrosse, and I'm just exhausted from it. Cook dinner, then bam, bam, bam. I'm just so beat. So, it's been tough to try getting. What the heck is going on, Vin? Switching up your camera. Whoa. Anyways, so yeah, it's been really hard to get on the computer, schedule time, everything else. So, there's a lot to happen. First off, we have a whole slew of new fans. They actually they recorded a message for Vin. I think he already saw it, but I want to play it on the podcast.
Oh, that'd be cool.
So give me a second. Let's see if I can get that pulled up. But yeah. So I drive 3 kids to lacrosse every day.
Every day.
Every day.
Woo! That's a lot of days.
I know, right? Well, every day we have practice. How's that?
No, that makes sense.
So this is my son Josh. Hi, Josh.
Hi, Josh.
His friend Tyler Basso.
Tyler, how's it going?
Mr. Basso.
Mr.
And
Basso.
then their friend Drew Nielsen.
Drew, my man.
My man Drew. So, yeah, they are huge fans of the show. We listen to it before every practice, sometimes on the way home from practice, depending on if everyone's in the car or not. And then we listen to it on the way to games and back. We really enjoy listening to it. We've gotten pretty good, Vin.
Yeah, how many episodes?
The early days.
How many episodes have we done?
We've done 9.
9, okay.
So,
a little bit of improvement.
Is that my computer?
I think so, because I don't think mine.
No, that was yours. I didn't do anything. Anyway, so if anyone
can you hear this? Do you hear anything?
Not now.
No? So it's not my computer.
That's weird. All right. Anyways, back. So yeah, we listen to it on the way to games, home from games, everything. We really enjoy it. We got some really good episodes out there.
Yeah.
One of my favorites is still the first episode, though.
Is that episode 0?
The episode 0, the Kickstarter episode.
Oh yeah, that's right. That was a fun one.
We got to get that road trip planned, man.
Oh hey, I gotta ask this. because we're reminiscing on past episodes, are we officially on our first clip show?
Well, I don't have any clips to play, so
Okay, so that's fair. So we haven't gone insane yet, so that's good.
Not yet.
Okay,
but I'm sure we'll get there at some point.
I'm
maybe.
Sure. We should totally do a clip show.
We really should. And yeah, we should. That'd be fun. By the way, happy anniversary, Vin. Today's our 10th episode, including episode 0. It's our 10th recorded episode.
Happy anniversary.
So with the debacle of episode 6.
Oh, is that the one that the internet ate?
Yeah, that was the one the internet ate. But actually, if you play it on Pocket Cast, that's the app I use to play podcasts on Android. It is really awesome because you can take out dead sound.
Oh, really?
So if it notices anything not there, it actually just compresses it, it skips it, and goes to the next time it sees the sound and just plays. So it actually was a pretty listenable episode with that part.
Huh. Well, now you got that fancy Mac there. You could do a little editing yourself, can't you?
I can. I'm working on it. We had that nice bumper at the beginning, so it was a start, you know?
Yep. That was a great start.
Oh, man. Oh, no, I don't think I have saved it.
What is...
Well, is that Snapchat? Oh, no. All right, anyways, they had a nice heartwarming message for you saying how they're your biggest fans and they loved you, and they would really hope that you come to their playoff game on Thursday.
Thursday, huh?
Thursday, yep.
All right, remind me again on Thursday morning. We'll see. I might be able to make it out. So
awesome.
far, I don't believe I've got anything planned. So
I definitely lost that. Oh, that's too bad. It was such a good one. I downloaded a different one, but not that one.
Oh, boo!
I know, slay me. Oh well.
Oh well.
All right. Well, they definitely. Maybe we'll get something set up from them for the next time. But hi, boys. I'm so glad you love the show. Keep listening. Even though lacrosse is going to be over soon, it's okay. We're still going to be posting stuff, maybe a little bit more now that I won't be coaching.
Sure.
So,
hey,
yeah.
Send us a question. Send us your emails, whatever you want.
Absolutely.
Send us the things you want to hear Jason say in his sexiest voice.
What's going on, Tyler? How you doing?
Goodness, that was frightening. Maybe don't do that.
Maybe I should move a little bit. What's going on, T-Dog?
Yeah, still a little much for me to handle. So
a lot of juice is flowing right now.
Oh goodness.
So yes, so I'm looking forward to these honest trailers. But the other day, man, it was maybe 2 weeks ago now. I'm getting ready for work, and I was letting Amelia sleep in a little bit, so I was kind of being a little lazy myself because if I let her sleep in, she'll sleep till 7:30. Maybe even closer to 8 sometimes. It's being a good dad because I think she had a late night that night. Well, she woke up a little earlier than I anticipated, and I was not fully dressed yet. So I got her dressed, and I needed to go run downstairs, but all her clothes were on the coffee table. And I'm like, oh, man, that's things. And I don't want her to just tear nicely folded, too, for my mother-in-law. So I didn't want her to tear them apart and then have to refold them.
Sure.
So I did the sensible thing. I put her in her room, ran downstairs real quick, came back up. The door's locked.
Oh. See, are these the doorknobs that have the little pinhole in the middle?
They do have a pinhole in the middle, but they're not. They're old as hell.
Oh, man. Hell's pretty old.
The house is almost, I think, 60 years old this year, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe 59, but yeah, it's they don't have the pinhole where you push on the pressure plate to unlock it. Okay. There was so yeah. So I'm freaking out. Josh was just about to leave for school and he's like, what are you gonna do? I have no idea what I'm gonna do because it doesn't have the pressure plate. So I'm fiddling around trying to unlock it with the pinhole thing and nothing's working. I start pounding on the door and I'm like, I was just about to break it down. But then I'm like, I don't even know where she is in the room.
Right. I
don't want to tear it down and then, bang the door into her.
Right.
Or, God forbid, fall on top of her. I kill the girl. I don't want to do that.
Right.
So I then all right. So I took the pinhole. I took the little tiny screwdriver I was using, and I go into my bedroom because at least I can lock it and try out some stuff to unlock it, and then be able to unlock it if I need to, so I know what I'm working with.
Did you tell your wife about this at this point?
Yes.
Okay.
No, not at this point. No, I told her when I got to work.
After you'd freed the baby.
Yes, I wouldn't have called until I had to call in the fire department or something.
Okay.
So yes, I did tell her though. So this is not her first time hearing it.
That's good. That's good.
So I was fiddling around with the one in my bedroom. At one point, she starts crying, so I'm starting to get hyped up. I'm like, oh god, this is not good. What the heck am I gonna do? And then in the meanwhile, while I'm trying to figure it out, I took apart my doorknob in my bedroom. I don't know how I did it, but it just came apart. And I did the same thing on to her. So right now I have 2 broken doorknobs that I can't fix. But I know how to unlock it now that the doorknob's taken apart.
Okay.
And I got her out of the room. She wasn't in there too long, but it felt like an eternity to me.
Of course it did. Yeah.
Oh man, it was so stressful.
Man. Well, so do you know how the door got locked?
Well, I put her in her. Yeah, she sees a button. She pushes the button.
Okay. So she's tall enough to hit that now.
Oh, she's shot up, man. She is so tall.
No.
She's if you got to make sure that like if sometimes either us or Josh will leave a pair of scissors out.
Mm-hmm.
The other day, she can reach up onto the dining room table, and even if they're in a little bit, still grab them.
Wow.
It's insane.
That's crazy.
It's freaking crazy. So yeah, that was one eventful morning. I'm glad I didn't have to tear a door down, but I wish I didn't have to break my doorknob because now I need 2 new. I'm probably gonna have because I have 2 broken doorknobs. I'm probably gonna have to get 2 doorknobs for the whole entire house now.
Yeah. That's rough.
It really was.
Well, I'm glad you got her out safely.
It was me too. It was so stressful, man. Whew. If it wasn't 7:50 in the morning, I probably would have cracked open a beer to calm the nerves a little bit because it was just like
Yeah. Well, that's some pretty big news.
Yeah, it was really crazy.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So you said
yes.
You got playoffs on Thursday.
We do. It's exciting. It's exciting and nerve-wracking all at the same time. So, coach a lacrosse team in Vernon for seniors. It's been an interesting year. There's definitely been some drama, but for the most part, that's over. That's all I'm going to say with it. It's been stressful on me. But it's cleared now. It's good. I got a good group of kids. I love the kids. They're all awesome. Definitely the hardest age of kids to coach.
Yeah.
Because every 7th and 8th grader knows everything in the world and they don't want to listen to you.
Yeah, I have a feeling that lasts a while too.
Yeah, it hasn't really changed. So, hey, everyone who's listening, if I coach you, I love you. You guys are awesome. Just listen to me every once in a while.
Jason knows a few things. He does know these things.
I do. So we played like 12 games this year. We won 4 of them. We were in a lot of close games though. We lost 1 game in overtime. We lost 2 or 3 games by 1 point. One was like a goal right in the last minute or 2. And then so it was crazy.
Yeah.
So we made the most of it though. And we're in the playoffs. We play Mansfield. They actually beat us earlier in the year. Mm-hmm. But I'm pretty confident in my kids, and I think we can come out with a win on Thursday. So we'll see how it goes. But
that's awesome. And that's going to be in Vernon?
In Vernon, yeah, right down the road from you.
Cool.
So
very cool.
It's exciting. I'm looking forward to. extending our season. So I hope we can pull it out. I know we can, but it's good. It's fun.
Very cool.
So yeah, it's awesome. So yeah, anything? What else have you been up to in your free time? I heard you went on a tiny vacation to like down the road, right?
Oh, that's right. That's right. So it's been that long. Yeah. Jeez. Becky and I took a trip down to Cancun. She had a friend who they wanted to get married in Mexico, but they didn't want to have to do the blood work in Mexico. Go figure. So they had a small wedding last year in Seattle. You have to
take blood work in Mexico to get married?
Apparently. I don't know. This is the way the story goes.
Okay.
So they got married out in Seattle and then did a destination wedding and invited Becky, and she said, "Well, duh, Cancun." So we made a big trip out of it. We took a whole week. Went down on Cinco de Mayo. We're horribly disappointed to find out that Cinco de Mayo is absolutely 100% a U.S. holiday.
100%?
100%. Nobody cares. It was the celebration of some victory of some battle or something. But yeah, they don't really care. They don't really care. So it didn't matter too much. There was still plenty of debauchery to be had. But we stayed at this gorgeous hotel. It was one of these 5-star resorts. Just absolutely stunning. I sent you a bunch of pictures. You've heard all this before, so I won't go too much. But yeah, it was wonderful. It was really really relaxing. Spent a lot of time on the beach, at the pool, escaping the sun. It was hot. It was a different sun too. I mean, it's right overhead. It was good. It was a very good trip.
That's cool. I remember when I went to Mexico a couple years back. Maybe 5-6 years ago now. Holy shit. You would literally like be standing outside and just be dripping in what you thought was sweat, but it's just condensation out there because it's so humid. It was awful.
Yeah. It at middle of the day, it got to be uncomfortable, and that was a good time to sort of seek refuge either in our hotel room or at the swim up bar, which was also pretty sweet.
Very nice. Very nice. Awesome. So yeah, it sounds like you had a great time. I saw the pictures; it was great, but so cool, man. I'm looking forward to our vacation at the Cape. It's definitely not Cancun, but it's gonna be a fun time.
Yeah. So when are you going?
We leave in August something.
August, okay.
We're gonna be away for my birthday. I know that one.
Cool. Fun.
So it'll be good. So I found I found this awesome site where things that happened 10 years ago.
Okay. So that's 2005.
Yeah. So I was shocked to see some of the things that were on here. Some seem a lot closer. Some seem a lot farther away. Where some's like, dude, that was just yesterday. So I figured I'd go down the list. Some are a lot bigger than others, but
sure.
So 10 years ago, Tom Cruise jumped all around on Oprah's couch.
Yeah. So I've never really paid close attention to that kind of stuff. And it wasn't until recently that I saw this insane documentary on Scientology.
I heard really good things about that. Was that the HBO one or something?
Yeah. It's called Going Clear. Man, it is good.
You have HBO. You're a lucky dude. I forgot that.
It is frightening what these people do. And so I learned that was a thing back apparently 10 years ago.
Jumping
on the couch, Tom Cruise. Yeah.
Yep. The first iPod Nano was released.
Oh wow! Yeah.
Doesn't it seem insane that was 10 years ago?
10 years ago.
How far we've come from then.
So I was already working at Prep for a year.
You've been there 11 years.
Yeah, my official 10-year anniversary was back in March. And I was there a year before that. I was Yellow Badge.
That's crazy.
Time flies.
Wow.
Yeah.
Christopher Nolan's Batman trilogy begins.
That was 10 years ago. Wow.
Right?
That's crazy.
It's insane.
What else?
Let's see. I'm only gonna do the good ones.
Yeah. Well, are there any like good bad ones?
Well, Joe Rogan called Carlos Mencia a joke thief pretty much everywhere he went. I don't remember that too much.
I have no clue what that means, but it's hilarious. No, I mean I know what it means, but
I don't remember the reference, so
it escapes me too. But that's funny.
Dave Chappelle walked away from his show.
Oh man, that was a heartbreak.
It really was. I actually got to see Dave Chappelle at CCSU. He came for a live concert or show there. It was so awesome. I was so lucky to go. It was like right when he just had a show. So he wasn't crazy big yet.
Okay.
But wow, that was so good. I missed that.
Great.
Sudoku became a craze in America.
I remember that vaguely. I was working at Pratt, obviously, and someone came in and was like, "Hey, have you seen the Sudoku thing?" I remember that. That was cool.
Craig Ferguson began hosting the Late Late Show.
Okay. I never watched those. Those were way too late for me, but
yeah. Google releases a mapping service.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
They've come a long way in 10 years too.
So that was after MapQuest had been established for a while.
Yes. I remember MapQuest was around like when I was still in high school.
Yeah, I was in college, but I remember that too.
The 40-year-old version came out and people started to care about Judd Apatow.
Yep. I cared about him before that, but that was his big breakthrough.
What did he do before that?
He did a couple TV shows. The two that I knew of that I loved.
One of them?
Freaks and Geeks was fantastic. Love Freaks and Geeks. And Undeclared.
Undeclared, okay.
Yeah, those are the two that I knew of. There may have been another, but...
Well, he found some big stars in doing both of those. Wasn't Franco one of them? Seth Rogen?
Yeah, well, Freaks and Geeks, Seth Rogen, James Franco, How I Met Your Mother, what's his name?
Jason Segel.
He's got
they were all friends. Name.
Duh. They were all friends with Judd Apatow, from what I understand, before they started, and he just kind of, carried around his friends with him.
That's awesome. Kind of like Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
But more successful.
Right.
Robot pets became the hottest thing.
Robot pets.
I remember my brother Dan having a robot dog.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yep. Rihanna released her first album.
Okay.
Here's a good one. Lazy Sunday is put on YouTube and people start using YouTube.
Lazy Sunday. Okay. So I didn't see Lazy Sunday then until quite a bit after that then. I think I saw Dick in a Box first.
Yep. And then you just went down a YouTube hole and started watching everything.
Pretty much.
Yeah. These Fresh Faces started on SNL, and that includes what's the guy's name who does
Andy Samberg,
Kristen Wiig, Hader, and I can't remember the last Sudeikis.
Okay. Yep.
I'm just going. They don't list their names; they're just showing a picture. But
okay.
Brad and Jen split. Brad Pitt and Jennifer Aniston.
Oh, okay.
Poor guys.
Yeah.
So
tough
sad.
life.
Yeah, I know. Then he moved on to Angelina Jolie. Shucks. Mm-hmm. Sin City is released, and a wave of sequel follow every 10 years.
And a what sequel?
And a wave of sequels follow every 10 years.
Sin City. Okay. Yeah. No, it's 100% accurate.
The Office. The Office. The U.S. version of The Office premieres
10 years ago. Man, I loved that show.
I
didn't at first. Did
I
I tell you this?
No.
I was a huge fan of the British Office, and I had just finished watching that series maybe a few months before the American version came out, and I had no clue it was really coming until I saw a commercial. I'm like, oh wow! So I watched the first episode, and it was shot for shot the same as the first episode of the British show.
It definitely was.
And I was so upset because I didn't feel it was as good. I mean, I was too attached to the other one that I almost didn't give it a shot. I kind of said, whatever. And I think I let the whole season air, and then I ended up finally getting it on Netflix when this is back before Netflix streamed. Wow, that was so long ago. And I started getting the discs for giggles to see what I thought, and turned out it was really good. I'm glad I stuck with it.
Me too. I thought the last season was great. Thought they did a really good job with everything.
Yeah. I still watch that in evenings.
Oh, I do too. If I'm flipping through the channels, I'll definitely stop. Sometimes I'll just put on Netflix, or it's good background fodder where you know what's going to happen. You're paying enough attention because you know what's going to happen, but you don't always. It's perfect.
It's perfect.
And then the two sports one, Patriots beat the Eagles in the big game. Go Pats! And no one won in the NHL because there was a strike.
Oh.
And then the last one was Sky Mall was an independent company. And now they're bankrupt, I believe. Or did they get bought out by someone?
Am I right? Is Sky Mall the ones that make the magazine that you read in the airs?
Yes, it's the mall in the sky because you can buy a whole bunch of slew of stuff.
Yeah, I never saw how that was going to last. Never made sense to me.
Well, before the internet, it was great.
Yeah,
it was.
Okay, all right.
Now, here's some geeky information for you that has nothing to do with 10 years ago, but it may kind of, because I don't know when the company started, so maybe. Okay. Did you know ThinkGeek was sold?
No, when did that happen?
Recently. And do you know who now owns it?
I'm going to guess either Amazon or Google.
Neither.
Really?
I want to confirm because I know there was let's see. I know there was some at one point Hot Topic was made a deal with ThinkGeek. And this happened like a week ago.
Weird. Who owns Hot Topic?
I don't know. I think Hot Topic is solely by themselves.
Okay.
So Hot Topic, that's that weird place in the mall that has all those T-shirts and random
emo stuff. Yeah.
Exactly. So they made a deal and they backed out on the deal because someone else swooped in.
Okay.
Any guesses who swooped in?
I gave you two already. Either give me a hint or just tell me.
All right, GameStop.
Is that the hint, or is that who bought them?
That's who bought them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, they needed to do something because used games are not necessarily what they used to be.
No, they're not.
Yeah, with the whole changing landscape of how we consume media, it's not long for this world. So that was a smart move.
Smart move by them, but you're an avid ThinkGeek customer, right?
Well, yeah, man, I like their stuff. It's a good place to find some nerdy, fun, good stuff.
It really is. I'm checking out some of the stuff now. It's so cool.
It's
my wife's cousin's wife. I don't know. We'll just say my wife's cousin. They go get gift card holders on ThinkGeek.
Oh, okay.
That they do every Christmas, and basically it's a puzzle that you can't get unless you unlock the puzzle.
Oh,
so it's like cool. It's a cue maze, and you got to get the ball in a certain spot, and then you can unlock it, and then it'll pop open.
Yeah,
really cool. I'm glad I don't get gifts from them because I would not be able to handle that. I just smash it with a hammer.
Yeah, that's cool.
So. Yeah, good for them though, and I think it was a smart move by GameStop and just to diversify because, like you said, used games aren't what they used to be.
Yeah, I still love it. I'm glad they're still around because I do like to buy games on the cheap. So good for them. I'm happy.
So speaking of games, and just to get an update for everybody, because we were listening through the episodes. How's your collection going?
So I haven't added a lot to it. I did add 2 of the earliest games that I ever played on the NES. So I can't really say the earliest games I ever played because we had a Commodore 64 way back when. But yeah, there was a good break of time between the time the Commodore 64 died and I started what I would really call the beginning of my love of video games. So I got an NES for Christmas one year. I don't even remember how old I was. And at that same video store that we talked about, rented my first game, which was the Mickey Mouse Capades. And I found that at the used video game store in the mall. Have you ever been to that one?
No, I haven't. I think my son told me about it, and then when we were listening about the episode, he's like, "Oh, you should tell him about that." And I think we discussed it at work or something. But
yeah, so there's some good stuff there, and that's where I found the Mickey Mouse Capades. And I found another game that my brother and I had rented a couple of times because we really liked it, called Karnoff. So those were neat finds, but that's all I really added. I haven't decided exactly what I want to start focusing on. So
okay, it's a tough decision, and
there's a lot out there.
Yeah,
a lot of stuff to catch up on.
Now, have you made any progress with your man cave in the basement?
No, well, I guess a little bit. I've cleaned out some space. I'm about to fill it back up. We're going to take all the stuff out of the office, and I have to put it somewhere, so I'll probably stuff it in the basement for now, so we can turn the office into a playroom. But that's I'll start, and probably by the by the end of the fall, I'll have it cleaned out at least, and then figure out how to really man it up.
Very cool. So awesome. I can't wait to see how that comes out.
Yeah, it'll be fun. And then in a few years, the 4K projectors will be relatively cheap, and I'll actually set up the theater the way I've been dreaming of.
That's awesome, man. I'm so happy for you. I can't wait to just play some old games.
Yeah, it'll be great. It'll be fun.
Very awesome. So, any idea how long we've been recording? I wish there was a little time thing on this thing. I usually keep track, but I wasn't paying attention. Anyways, so we also have an email, our first email.
Do we?
From a fan.
Who's it by? Who's it from?
It's from Ryan Merritt. Hi Ryan, how you doing?
Hey Ryan. Hey, do you feel like can you see me? Do you feel like you're watching a J.J. Abrams film?
Oh, there's some lens flare. I hope there's not a lot of lens flare in Star Wars.
Yeah, I hope he's taken to heart his critics and fan complaints. Hey, okay, so Ryan, how's it going? What does Ryan have?
Time out. Before we go to Ryan, sorry, Ryan, we'll get back to you in a second. The Star Wars trailer, have you seen it?
Yes.
I meant to talk to you about this back in March when, or maybe May, when you were going to see it, but
yeah, so fantastic. It was awesome. It was very exciting. I cannot wait. It's 190.
So good.
190 days? Let me see. The internet will tell me, not my phone will tell me. 190 days until it releases.
We'll have to have an all Star Wars episode because there's some definitely stuff I want to talk about. I will talk about it then, but I wish I could have seen Star Wars blind. And what I say by that,
actually see it.
Well, no, not actually blind. When I say blind, I mean I wish I could have saw it without knowing the information that I knew.
So when you're saying Star Wars, you mean like A New Hope, or what do you mean?
Sorry. I mean, Vin's holding his camera like literally a quarter of an inch from his face. So I always forget the order. New Hope was it like the second one where he finds out? Spoiler alert.
That's episode 5. That's Empire.
Empire. That I feel like that was ruined because everyone was talking about it because whatever.
It's in the So that was actually a really important thing for Becky and I. We wanted to make sure we introduced Kelsey to Star Wars early, And
Before she found out.
yeah, and especially getting her to Empire and Jedi. I mean, there's a bit of a reveal in Jedi as well.
Mhm.
So that was important. She may have been a little too young. I think she was in her late 4s, early 5s.
Whoa.
So she's still a little young, still at the point where it's tough for her to sit still through an entire movie. And they're not the most exciting movies, right?
No, they aren't.
They can be very slow at times. So, but she saw it, and she saw the reveal, and we paused the movie to make sure she understood what was going on. But we gave her that experience, I think. So that's something you should endeavor to do with Amelia as well.
I will. Part of the reason, so I have some bad news here, and it's just very unfortunate. Dude, is that you again, or is that me?
Not me.
Pretty sure it is. It is. Every time I ask you, then you do something, and it stops.
I didn't do anything. That's the thing. I was sitting motionless.
I doubt that. I can see the reflection in your glasses, sir.
Yeah, I'm watching an animated GIF.
They have a lot of sound. So, anyways, the unfortunate news is it's very unfortunate because I would love to go see the movie with him. My son doesn't like Star Wars.
Yeah, and honestly, if I hadn't grown up with episodes 4, 5, and 6, especially at an early age, with parents who loved it, etc., I don't know if I would have been into it in the same sort of way. I mean, there's a lot of nostalgia that carried it forward. As an adult, I can watch them and really love them for what they are because they're fantastic movies.
Mm-hmm.
But they're a little bit slower. And, if your son grew up seeing episodes 1, 2, and 3, yeah, I mean, yeah.
Well, this goes back to the thing of seeing a movie blind, where he had all the Star Wars Lego games.
Mm-hmm.
So they go through the whole entire story.
Yeah.
So he feels like he's already seen it.
Yep.
And because he feels like he already seen it, he doesn't want to see it.
Yeah.
So there's not that urgency there. But maybe at some point, maybe we can chain him down to your couch and have a trilogy weekend.
I think we could if he'd be game to hang out for a bit. I think we can make this happen. If we set the conditions just right. I think we could do something for him. I think it would be cool.
I think it might have been me the whole time. I'm sorry.
I'm scratching my dog's ass right now. That can't be me.
All right, I think I had CNN open and it kept playing ads. Well, if people heard that, I'm sorry. If not, then you have nothing to worry about. So, so we'll have an all Star Wars podcast closer to December, because Star Wars is awesome and the world needs more Star Wars.
That's true.
But
an awful lot more Star Wars in the near future.
I know they're basically going to be releasing a movie a year, right?
Something like that. Yeah, it's going to be really cool.
What's the next Star Wars movie after this? It's how this Death Star
Beater
built. Yeah.
Is that it? Is it the?
I think so. Let's check Star Wars movies. Star Wars movie. I don't know what to Google. Sometimes my brain doesn't work with Google.
Sometimes your brain doesn't work with Google.
I was like, "What? How should I Google this?"
How about new Star Wars movies?
Yeah, I just did that, jerk. All right, yeah. So yeah, Star Wars: The Force Awakens, awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Star Wars Anthology, Rogue One.
Mm-hmm.
Star Wars Episode 5, 6, 7, 8. And then Star Wars Anthology Boba Fett.
Mm-hmm.
And Star Wars Episode 9. So through 2019, they already got it planned.
Yep. Just like all the superhero movies.
Yep. Disney's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, they do all right.
Wow, so good. So back to the email. Sorry about that, Ryan. We're back.
Hey, Ryan, how's it going?
So he's talking about, I think this was our episode 7 where we talked about our favorite condiment, because he sent in a question asking what our favorite condiment was. So here it is. How dare you not mention the greatest condiment of all during the podcast? Mustard!
Whoa.
Step your game up. Sorry, yeah, it was
That's
caps.
some passion.
It was caps, and then he had the exclamation point. I figured I had to.
Ryan, are we talking honey mustard? Are we talking Dijon, stone ground? What kind of mustard are we talking about? I mean, there's a lot of mustard out there. Let's be honest.
There is, and you know what? I swear to God, he knew what your response was going to be. So he said, "Step up your game." Also, next time when you're at the grocery store, you'll notice that blue cheese is in the salad dressing and not the condiments. Mustard for the win. Any kind: honey, yellow, Dijon, spicy, wasabi, everything, etc.
I'd like to point out that you can also find blue cheese in the cheese section.
You can.
And
you
if
can
you
also find it in the produce, too, next to other condiments.
Whoa.
Boom. So, and then he continues. And this also, I think we talked about House of Cards in that same episode. He says, another House of Cards observation, however, he cannot take credit for. House of Cards. Deck of cards is 52 cards in a deck. 13 episodes in a season. 52 divided by 13 equals 4. Will the next season be the last for House of Cards? Question mark.
Yes.
I thought that was a very good point. And I think he's right.
You know, numerology freaks me out. Not so much because of numerology, but because of numerologists. They're a little frightening.
Numerologists?
The people who study numerology.
Okay. I've never heard them referred to that way.
Well, there's actually, so that right there is an example of the sort of conspiracies that are devised and substantiated by funny mathematical equations that aren't necessarily linked to each other. You just string them all together, you find some coincidental arguments to support them, and then poof, you've proved something. So, for instance, when House of Cards doesn't end after 4 seasons, so a numerologist would then find another formula to support why it didn't happen that way. They're just crazy. I hope none of our fans here are actual numerologists. I would apologize for my dour remarks. I respect all of our fans, but numerologists,
it doesn't sound like that. It doesn't sound like you do.
Well, are you saying we have a fan who's a numerologist?
I don't know if we do. If you do, please email the show and let us know, and then we'll call in, and then you can have a conversation with Vin on why numerology is so important, and you could give him a swift kick in the dupa.
That'd be cool. I'd appreciate that. I need a swift kick in the tukas.
Hey, Eddie, how's it going? Eddie's Vin's cat. So what is Eddie's full name?
Lord Edward von Grace of Castle Irene upon Mount Sparetime of Vernon. Also, Edward James Olmos Kowalczyk Michele. Oh man, he had another name. I lost half of it. But Eddie. This one's not necessarily the joke name I gave him. I adopted him. So quick story for the listeners. He is an adopted stud. So a breeder had purchased him. He shipped over from Russia. He is an actual Siberian. And he was used as a stud. So he sired many litters. He was also a champion show cat several times over. As you can tell, he's a very handsome, very loving cat. But when he came over from Russia, he came from a cattery called the Kabuchka Cattery. And his name was Edward Winter Snowflake Kabuchka.
That's awesome.
That's Eddie. That's his history. That's his heritage.
Let's give Eddie a round of applause. What's up, Eddie?
He's a good cat.
Yeah, I wish my cat was nice. My cat is very mean and likes to claw at my wife and runs away from Amelia and only really likes me. But she does this weird thing. Like, she won't even let you pet her if she does pet her. Like, she'll knead on you. She'll go. It's so annoying.
Yeah.
It's like as a kid, I get it for a little bit, but she still doesn't. She's like 5 or 6 years old now.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we're about to wrap up here, sir. You got anything? Oh man.
Don't we have some questions or?
Oh, we do have a question from Son. Hey, Josh, how you doing? Welcome.
Hey, Josh, welcome back.
Welcome back. It's nice.
Hey, we got to get him on the show sometime.
I know he's sleeping right now, but we'll definitely say all three of them actually wanted to be on the show sometime. So come summertime, I figured they'll be over here at some point, and we can invite them down and have a nice little podcast conversation with them.
We could have like an entire segment.
We could. It can be
like a regular segment.
Now, the funny thing is, sometimes, when we weren't listening to podcasts, I was so tempted to start recording the conversations that these kids would have in the back of the car.
I believe it. Well, I mean, if you had a microphone for half the shit that we talked about, I think we'd have some fun episodes too, which is kind of what we're just do anyway.
Oh, exactly. But these would shoot up the chart because, man, these kids, Josh in particular, he would just stick on something, even if he's wrong and he knows he's wrong, even though he'll never admit it. And when he listens to this, I'm sure he's gonna be like, "What are you talking about, Jay? I'm never wrong." I'm like, sorry, Josh. Sorry about that.
Which you could never actually disprove, because if you told him that he was wrong, then you'd prove that he was right when he said he wasn't wrong. So there's a tautology there. He's basically telling you that he is always right.
So, Ben, this came up, while we were listening. Josh thinks this word I'm about to say is a word. Now, you tell me if you think it is or not.
Okay, so I'm either going to side with you or side with Josh.
Correct.
Okay.
Oh God, this will be interesting. And then, hold on. I told you so. All right. Yeah, I know, Josh. Sorry. Spontaneous. Spontaneous.
No, spontaneous. Okay.
Not contagious. Spontaneous.
Do me a favor. Did he give you a definition for this word?
Yes. To be spontaneous.
That's not a definition. You can't use a word to define itself.
I know. That's what I said, but that's what he...
So Josh, your homework before the next episode is to provide a clear and concise definition. I will not go on to Google. I will not go on to a dictionary. Yeah, see that? Technology. I will not go to a dictionary. I will not look this word up. I will avoid it very easily because it has never showed up in my life prior to now. I will avoid it in my life until we hear back from you with a clear, concise definition of what you believe this word spontaneous means. And if you can fool us, that would be hilarious. We will confirm live on air if it truly is a word, and I think that'll be good podcast fodder.
Perfect. Well, we look forward to hearing from you, Josh, and whether you come down and tell us or send an email in or write it down for me, whatever works will be perfect.
Sounds good.
Awesome. So, a question from Son. What movie have you rewatched the most number of times?
That's a good question.
I know mine.
Okay, give me yours.
The Waterboy.
Oh, nice.
When my parents got divorced, my dad got a big screen TV because, come on, he's on his own now. He's going to get a big screen TV to watch stuff with the kids.
Absolutely.
Why not? So it was 1998, I think, is right when DVDs came out.
Okay.
Like right when they came out. Like there was only a handful of stuff that they put on DVD at the time. Waterboy was one of them, and all we would do every time we go to my dad's house on the weekend was literally watch Waterboy over and over and quote the movie, and it was amazing, and it was hilarious, and it was such an awesome movie. I will still watch it to this day if I see it on TV. I haven't watched it on DVD, but if it's on, I'll definitely keep watching it. So that's my one. At one point, we watched it so much that we decided to watch it in French.
Wow.
Because why not? If it's on DVD, I could change the
And it was probably just as funny because he still understood all the jokes, but it sounded goofy.
Exactly. I was like, boo, 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 hey, water sucks. So it was pretty awesome.
Did you put the closed captions on, or did you not need to at that point?
I don't think we needed to. We may have done it just as a reference point, but even then, I don't think we did.
Okay. So my most watched movie, you're gonna laugh. It's not what you would expect. It's not what I would expect. I would expect something like episode 5, or turns out the movie I watched the most is a movie that my brother and I would come home from school when we were probably in 1st and 2nd grade, respectively. Every single day, my poor mother, every single day would come home and watch The Great Muppet Caper. Had to watch it 50 days straight, easily. I willing to bet dollars to donuts that is the movie I've watched the most times in my entire life.
So 2 things on that. Did you know they're coming out with a Muppet TV show?
This would be the 3rd, I believe.
But like a new one.
Yes, right. So there was the original Muppet Show, which was fantastic. It was hilarious. A lot of fun. I grew up watching a lot. They tried to reboot it in the late 90s or early 2000s with, what's his name? City Slickers.
Billy Crystal.
Billy Crystal, thank you, as the host. It didn't last very long at all, which was unfortunate. And then I feel like, well, maybe this is so. There may have been another attempt after that, but I hope it works. I hope they go back to the format from the original series and try and get back to the heart of what made it so enjoyable, rather than
which is what.
A variety show with lots of, like Saturday Night Live or something like that. A bunch of silly skits with Muppets, a guest star or two, who are in the current pop culture mind frame, and just Muppets.
No, I hate to break it to you, it's not like that.
No, what's it gonna be?
It's like I think it may be like that to an extent. But I think it's going to be like, from what I've seen, and they actually have a commercial out for it, so check YouTube afterwards. I think it's going to be taped in a single cam type thing where Office.
Oh, I did hear about that.
So it's going to be like The Office, but it's going to be like around the variety show type thing.
Okay.
So it's going to be like behind the scenes on how they live their life, but I think they also might pepper in stuff with the variety show.
Okay.
Type 2. I am speculating that second part.
Right.
I know it's definitely an Office type comedy. So it'll be interesting. I'm looking forward to it. It'll be something cool that has both humor for adults and kids, which will be fun.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm looking forward to it either way. I think
I haven't seen any of the new movies though. I kind of always wanted to, but I just never got around to them.
They were okay. They didn't totally suck.
Cool. I'll have to check them out at some point.
You should.
So, and one last thing, and maybe we could save this the next time, but that's fine. We'll figure out something else to talk about. You've mentioned this movie to me. You actually let me borrow this movie. And this doesn't have anything to do with what movie I've watched a whole bunch of times, but the word movie came up, and then it got me thinking. Idiocracy.
Yes. You don't still have that, do you?
No, I gave it back to you.
Okay. I haven't been able to find my copy. I don't know where it's to. Yeah.
I know I gave it back to you because you kept hounding me because it's like, how have you still not watched it? You've had it for over a month. I'm like, I have a kid. I haven't had time.
Did you actually watch it?
I did watch it, and then I gave it back to you.
Yeah.
Great movie, right?
Well, no, but a lot of fun. It's not a great movie. I mean, watch it again. It's kind of a mediocre movie. But there's a lot of really funny stuff in it, and it's really quotable, which is what makes it so easily loved. I would put it more as a guilty pleasure, as a really
good point. It's a funny movie, not the greatest, cinematical.
You kind of need friends to watch it with. It's kind of like like Spaceballs. You watch it alone, and you're going to be saying, "This really isn't all that funny." You get a couple friends together, maybe a couple beers, or maybe not even, and you start laughing and you start quoting, and you find somebody who loves it, and you quote it really easily, and find some camaraderie there. Absolutely, I love it. It's a fun movie. It's absolutely a guilty pleasure. I don't know if I'd call it a good movie. I'd just be careful of that.
Yeah. Well, it's crazy because it's kind of true.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's
the first 10 minutes are very very stark social commentary on the way things are.
Right.
Frightening. Yeah.
So I was listening to thanks to you, you've introduced me to the whole world of podcasts, and I love it. But I feel like I have so much to listen to now that I don't have enough time to listen to it all.
Yep.
So you introduced me to Star Talk, and I actually went back like all the way from you introduced me back in maybe like February timeframe.
Yeah.
And then I downloaded all the way to like this August 2014 and just pounded through and listened to them. Really awesome. You learn a lot. I love space. He just interviewed the guy that was one of your picks of the week where he did the Space Oddity song.
Yeah.
Chad.
Hadfield.
Hadfield.
Chris Hadfield.
Chris Hadfield. So it's awesome. But he had a podcast where he was talking with, he has different scientists on. He was talking with three or four scientists on the board, and they were all talking. Then they went through, and there's like, oh yeah, so how many kids do you have? None of them had kids. The brightest people in the world, not one of them had kid. I was like, it's insane.
Yeah,
it's scary. Smart people need to reproduce and have lots of babies.
That's true.
And you know what? I'm really smart, Lindsay.
Are you saying you need more babies? Lindsay, are you listening to our show?
Well, we'll find out. I guess whenever she gets to the episode.
Okay. All right.
So, yeah. So, I overheard that. Well, I was listening to it, and it was just so shocking to me, and it's so scary. So, if anyone listening, you get a chance, check it out. It's like Vince said, it's a okay movie, but the message behind it is pretty scary. And it has its funny parts. Brondo.
It's got plants crave.
You mean the water out of that toilet?
Yeah. See, we could do this all night. We can start recording this all night long.
Hey, dude, I love your show.
I'm gonna do trippy visuals with Superman.
So yeah, check that out. Unfortunately, it does not look like it's streaming, but you can rent it on Amazon.
Yeah, it's worth checking out. It's fun.
You can actually buy it on iTunes for $7.99. That's not too bad.
That's not bad at all. I'd say it's worth that.
I'd say so too. So if you got $8 you want to waste, buy Idiocracy and give it a watch.
There you go.
Watch it with friends, and if you're drinking, it makes it better.
Okay.
So last thing before we close out is our That's not the one I wanted to hit. Our pick of the week. So, Vin, what do you got for your pick of the week this week?
I put mine up at the head of the show, man. It's Mad Max all the way. Check it out.
Okay. I'm definitely going to have to. My pick of the week is actually an app. It has nothing to do with a TV or a movie for once. Is Google Photos.
Oh, yeah, the new Photos.
The new Photos app. It's basically an Google Plus Photos extended out into their own brand. So they're no longer linked with Google Plus. And it's great. You can back up all your photos for free under high quality, which is 16 megapixels. I always get, every time I say mega, I want to say byte, but it's actually megapixels, MP. So it'll save it at 16 megapixels. If you have a smartphone, it's perfect. And it'll go through and categorize stuff for you. You can actually search stuff without tagging anything. I could actually search sports, and it'll pull up any game I've been to that I've taken a picture, any of Josh's lacrosse stuff. You could also, it identifies all faces, so you can literally click the search button and it'll show you faces. Man, you are creeping me out with that video, man.
I'm having a good time. I really shouldn't without a few more beers or something, but it's too much fun.
Whoa. All right. So yeah, check out Google Photos. Highly recommend it. You get unlimited storage if you save it as a high quality. If you do full size, it's actually only 15 gigabytes you get for free, but really awesome. I'm trying to back catalog any stuff so I can always have it on my phone if I need it. So it's pretty awesome. Definitely check it out. Have you tried it yet?
Yes.
Okay.
I like it. I like it a lot.
So you've downloaded a new one?
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yep. Very cool. Good pick.
Yeah, I'm happy with it. So I think that wraps it up for us, bud.
That was a good time. We should do this again sometime in the next 3 months.
It's just like Sin City. We'll do a sequel every 10 years.
Sounds good.
So I want to thank everybody for listening. Thank you for the emails. Thank you for the feedback. Tyler, Josh, Drew, please send in some questions or let us know whenever you want to come on the show because we'd love to have you. That sums it up. So you can email us at koalaandtheroot@gmail.com along with just talking to us because some of the fans talk to us and we'll mention it on the show. Had a lot of fun tonight, Ben.
Me too. Have a good night.
Well, have a great night. We will see you on the flip side.
Woo!